right, the weekend almost here. That means it's time to get you ready in both college football and the NFL. Mark Zinno and I each have a play for you for Saturday, and then we have come together for a mutual bet on Sunday in the National Football League. Sir, are you ready for the weekend? Tonight's the night. I don't mean to, add any pressure to you, but a big
Yeah,
5% from Mark Zinno on tap tonight.
Before we talk about that, okay, because no one really cares, let's just talk about why I sucked last night.
I care.
I had that game script completely wrong. Completely wrong. Everything I talked about was dead wrong. Thought we were going to play fast pace. Thought we were going to score points. Looked at the first half over. Thought the Eagles would throw the ball all over the place. How many of those things happened, Brian Power? 0. Dead wrong. Dead.
I gave up. I gave up the Eagles. That one.
How would you shut up? We're not talking about you right now.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay. You are the reason that we didn't go winless last night. Yay! Smattering of applause for Brian Power. That was terrible. I completely had that game wrong from start to finish. Nothing went well. A.J. Brown didn't go over his yards. A.J. Brown didn't score a touchdown. Devonta Smith didn't go over his yards. Devonta Smith didn't score a touchdown. And yet we got 2 garbage late touchdowns from Saquon Barkley. Bleh. As a Giants fan, making it a little bit more annoying every single time.
I saw a good tweet last night that said, hold on. Let me say something on Saquon Barkley. I saw a good tweet last night. It's like the Giants would still definitely stink if they had Saquon Barkley. But man, are the Eagles happy they got him. That's pretty much the story of that trade.
The Giants would still definitely be 2-8 with Saquon Barkley. There's no doubt about that. That said, yeah, nothing like riding right into a 5% play on a nice losing streak.
All right. This is what we're going to do. This is what we're going to do, Zinno. Zinno, this is what we're going to do. We're going to think positive. We're going to think positive, and we're going to look ahead. We're going to look ahead to the weekend. That was yesterday. Today's a new day. The weekend are 2 more new days. And let's get some winners for the people for the weekend. Yes, it was only 1-2 yesterday, so it's 17-10 run on the show. You, sir, that very interesting weekend in college football because the top 4 teams of the country are all playing on the road. One of them is number 1 Oregon, obviously, and they are in Camp Randall. I visited Madison before. Lovely town. You are playing the first half spread in this game because you're looking at a Wisconsin team that hung with Penn State tough for a half earlier in the year. They actually were winning outright at the half, I believe, against Penn State. And you like the fact the Badgers are getting more than a touchdown in the first half. That way you don't have to worry about Dan Lanning potentially running it up at the end.
Yeah, not only that, though. I mean, remember a couple of weeks ago when yours truly decided to take the Wisconsin Badgers against Penn State, getting 6.5, and everything was going swimmingly until Braden Locke decided to be a douche nozzle and throw a pick out of his own end zone that led to Penn State covering that game. Can't have that happen again. I'm going to go back to Wisconsin here because guess what? There's a couple of things at play. Number one, all the pressure continues to be on Oregon, right? To remain undefeated, to hold on to the number 1 seed, okay? The last time these 2 teams met wasn't last year, obviously, because Oregon wasn't in the Big Ten. It was in the Rose Bowl game last year that Wisconsin hung with Oregon 28-27. That wasn't last year. It was a couple of years ago. But that's the last time these 2 teams met. So they've gone kind of in different directions since that last meeting. Not only that, Wisconsin, with another win, becomes bowl eligible. They're 5-4. So they're going to be extra motivated here. Not only that as well, Oregon has Washington on deck as their next opponent. Now, this doesn't feel like a true revenge spot, but the last 2 years, Washington has sent Oregon packing in the regular season and in the Pac-12 championship game. So, yeah, this kind of feels like a spot where Oregon is more fixated on beating Washington than necessarily Wisconsin. Not really a true look ahead, but again, this is a situational spot for Oregon where they could come out flat. Look, remember, they came out flat last week against Maryland at home, right? We had the Oregon first half minus the points. Didn't work out at all. And then the other final thing, they nail in the coffin for me here, and why I'm playing the first half, BP, is simply because, as I've talked about, Wisconsin has no catch-up ability. If they're going to stay in this game and have any chance of pulling off the upset, they have to lead early. Similar to your Utah play last week against BYU, when they led at half, that's the formula. They got to lead at half and hope to hang on. If they're down by 7 or more at half, guess what? They ain't coming back. They got no shot to come back. This is not an offense that plays catch up well. So Let's take Wisconsin plus a 7.5 here in the first half to hang with Oregon.
Take Wisconsin in the first half. Get in, get out, says Mark Zinno. Smash that like button if you agree. Let's stay in the Big Ten for my half of the double play. Nebraska USC. This is a very interesting game, Mark Zinno, because we've got two falling knives and a lot of moving pieces. Yes, if you'd like to let me speak, you will find out why it's an interesting game if you already don't know the answer. So obviously both teams are not playing well as of late, but USC's made a quarterback change, benching Miller Moss. I'm sad to see. I always have a soft spot in my heart for Miller Moss. Remember we bet on him in that bowl game last year against Louisville? He came out through 6 touchdowns. I don't think Miller Moss was USC's problem, quite frankly. I think it was the defense that was USC's problem. And then you have Nebraska, okay? They came into 2024. They're like, this is finally going to be the year, right? We're gonna get back into a bowl. Things started well, but here they are. They've dropped 4 of 6. They're now just 5-4 straight up. Only one of those 4 losses, though, okay, have been by more than 7 points. It was 56-7 at Indiana. That was a game where it looked like they quit in the second half. Now, what has Matt Rule done late in the season? How about a coaching shakeup on his staff? Dana Holgerson has been brought in to call plays. The always not clean shaven, very he's just looking disheveled on the sideline. Always Holgerson, but he's the new play caller in Lincoln. And I like the points with Nebraska here. Do we really think? Who wants to lay more than a touchdown with USC right now, Mark? This team, over its last 24 games, do you know what its straight up record is? 12-12. No. 12-12, I repeat. 500. Lincoln Riley, what are you doing? Now, I know, okay, they've had to go east a bunch of times. They haven't won any of those games when they've had to go. This game is in the Coliseum, obviously, but Nebraska's defense is the best unit on the field in this game. And when Nebraska loses, Mark, to my earlier point, how do they lose usually? Close. Give me the points. Yeah. Nebraska is the play here to go along with your Wisconsin first half bet. So we're taking the points in the Big Ten on Saturday. That is your double play. Please be so kind as to not only smash that like button, but to comment down below with what you're betting on Saturday. We always enjoy seeing that. Thoughts?
Okay, good. I mean, I'm allowed to speak now because you seem to be hitting a hot button when you do the if you'd let me speak, if you'd let me finish. No, I don't want to let you finish. But I was nice enough to let you get through that whole entire handicap, and it was well done. In fact, I'm sure the morning wager audience. I'm sure the morning wager audience, appreciated that long, lengthy Adam Trigger, type breakdown.
I don't think it was that long.
No,
yours was longer.
Sorry, Trigger. Sorry, Trigger. Yeah. Unsolicited shot at Trigger.
Yeah, I was about to say yours was longer, but then that clip would be held against me for years to come. Anyway, last. Damn it! All right. Yes. Your last chance to promote a 5% play, Mark Zinno.
5% play. I mean, tonight on the card tonight, the 5% is on Saturday. It's one of the games tonight, and we're going all in. And we need it bad. We need it bad, but we feel good. We feel good. The stars have aligned, right? The cosmos of the universe are open. I'm going to give you guys some really technical handicapping here. Okay.
Okay.
We look good right now. We're dressed well. We feel good. The universe is aligned. It's all good. Even the numbers, the money, the sort of tea leaves, if you will, all look good. So what could go wrong, Brian Power? Tell us nothing but cashing a 5% best bet winner. Nothing.
Mark,
and if you didn't do it on $5, it is up on the page from last night. Look at that. I repackaged it for you guys. It's been sitting there since last night.
That's the smart thing to do. And the song that we will play at the end of the show does say we are Mark Zinno cashes tickets each and every day. All right. I'm going to do a little quick promotion.
Thursday night football.
Okay. That's okay. Let's move past that. Let's move past that.
Saturday and college football.
Okay, we're gonna move past that. We're only looking forward, only positive thoughts. Okay, I'm gonna do a little quick promotion.
You and quick promotion are two things that never happen in the same sentence. But go ahead. I'll let you speak.
Okay. By the time you're listening to this show, my entire weekend college football card should be up. I do have a play up for Friday. My best bet that was part of $5 Tuesday is also up. We're going to add 3 more plays for Saturday. Yes, the college football record has been exceptional. 51-24, our last 75, going back to last season. And also, Mark Zinno, hot off the presses, you want to talk about a 5% play. I have added one for Sunday in the NFL. You go back to last November. Over the last 12 months, 7-1 I am with 5% football plays. That is NFL and college combined. Pretty good. Feeling good.
There is a logic you should put more of those out because your record is so good.
Now you're going to tell me how to do my job.
I'm not telling you how to do anything. I'm just telling you there is logic to the fact that if you have this wonderful 7-1 record, it's all shiny and polished and it's right there. You get a 7-1 trophy, which will be 8-1 after this weekend, I'm sure, which we'll hear all about on Monday because you can't stop bragging about yourself. And you'll be 8-1. And I would tell you, you should put out more of those things because they seem to work.
Look, I'm going to tell you this. People like how it's selective with the 5%. I like being selective with it. It's the approach that we've chosen in life, and it's what we do. By the way, speaking of...
Some of us are selective. Some of us are 66% over the last 3 years, which means absolutely nothing.
Okay, all right. You're completely off the rails. I want to say, speaking of people, I'm going to criticize someone for how they do their job. Actually, before we get to the best bet, you're not going to agree with this. I think a lot of people. Will you stop it? I think a lot of people are maybe not going to agree with me here, but I don't give a damn because I have a microphone and I'm allowed to speak. I thought that some of the commentary I heard after the Commanders-Eagles game last night was really sorry. Quite frankly, Damian Woody, I'll call him out in particular. I'm sure Mike Lombardi, who's going to remind us that he knew Bill Walsh 50 years ago, like that's supposed to mean something. He's going to tweet about it. But the people whining about Dan Quinn going for it on 4th down, like that was the end of the game, I think are just off base, man. Because I'm going to tell you why. Hold on. Let me tell you why. Because they act like, A, if they kick the field goal, it was going to go in. And B, refused to admit that the Eagles scored 2 touchdowns after he didn't get anyway. He did need the points. Guess what? If they would have kicked to score 13, they still would have lost. They needed points. He knew he needed points in a game like that. The problem, as it always is on 4th down, Mark, and people don't get it, it was a lousy play call. But I thought the analysis post-game was equally as lousy as that play call. And people who just want to say the word analytics like it's some dirty word because they don't understand anything, they really disappoint me on commentary. And I just wanted to get that off my chest.
First of all, analytics is a dirty word because you can't spell analytics without anal. There is that. So beyond that, I will tell you that for somebody who covered Dan Quinn through his entire tenure here in Atlanta, and I even tweeted this out last night, the problem with Dan Quinn is that he's all gas, no brakes all the time, right? He doesn't have a sense of how to manage moments within a game, kind of like the Super Bowl, where the head coach is supposed to get in the headset and go, I want 3 runs. Any 3 runs you have, do not throw the ball here. Kyle Shanahan, just run the ball 3 straight times and kick a field goal so we can go win the Super Bowl. That is what head coaches are supposed to do. All gas, no brakes. When it works, he looks like a genius. When it doesn't, he costs his team the game. And I tweeted that out because, again, I've seen it repeatedly over and over, covering him throughout his entire coaching career. That said, my counter argument to what you said about the Eagles scoring 2 more touchdowns, look, when they went for it and didn't get it, they got the ball right near midfield. That completely changes the play calling for the Eagles at that point in time, as opposed to kicking off and then starting from their own 25 again. You get a whole different set of outcomes because the play calling is completely changed. So, yeah, they scored 2 more touchdowns. One of those was predicated on the fact that they only needed to go 60 yards to do it and not 80. Reasonable minds can choose to disagree. So there is that. BP looks frozen. Is he frozen? Or am I just talking out loud to nobody? Okay, he is frozen. So I'll take over from here since he's frozen. Yes, I mean, it was so compelling that he is completely frozen by what I said, and we'll get back to him. So now that Bryan Power is back, everything I just said, the best part is it was so smart you missed it all. That's number 1. Number 2, we're just going to forget that everything that I said you didn't hear, and we're just going to pretend I'm right.
Sounds good to me. I apologize. I don't know what happened. All of a sudden, my computer just restarted on me. It was shocking. My heart dropped. Yes, my heart dropped. I was very upset by the whole thing. Anyway, let's move on to our show best bet.
There you go.
Yes. The Cleveland Browns a team that plays not far from where I live. They will be not playing at Cleveland Brown Stadium or whatever they renamed it earlier this year. They will be playing in the Mercedes-Benz Superdome. Actually, I don't think it's the Mercedes-Benz.
Nope.
They're playing in New Orleans.
Caesars.
Caesars. I'm blowing. Usually I'm good with the sponsors. Today I'm off. But they're playing in New Orleans, a great city. By the way, I have had some of the great times in my life in New Orleans, Louisiana. The Browns are there this weekend. The Browns are taking money, Zinno, off a bye. The Saints
Can't wait.
were a 4% best bet for me last week against the Falcons. But I think we're viewing that as sort of, okay, interim coach bump. They got their win. Now it's time to go back to sucking for the Saints. Meanwhile, the Browns off a bye. They look like the play here.
Agree. I eyed this game up when they were 2-point dogs. And I thought we missed the tease window with them, which would have been great if you caught that, right? To get them to 8. But, I looked at this game initially and really wanted to fade the Saints because in reality, guys, the Saints did not deserve to win that game against the Falcons. Their kicker missed 3 field goals. They were outgained by the Falcons. They were outrun on the ground. Like the Falcons held the ball for, I think, 10 minutes more than the Saints did in that game. Saints had no business winning that game. Why? Because they're a bad football team. And despite the new coach bump with Darren Rizzi, which is a nice little Italian boy, Rizzi, how you doing? Anyway, they come back to earth here. Cleveland and Kevin Stefanski have had an extra week to prepare for this thing. Jameis Winston, more snaps under center, more reps with the first team. I get it, Cleveland isn't good, but they have Nick Chubb, and they have the better defense, and they have the better coach. And for me, that's enough here with a short number. Whether you take it, Cleveland plus the 1 or minus, just Cleveland money line is the way to go. Pay the juice if you have to and get out of Dodge. So let's go Browns money line best bet.
Jameis Winston revenge game as well. I don't think that's as much as Washington, Oregon.
Right.
Maybe a stretch, but I want to say something intelligent there, and there you have it. All right, Cleveland Browns is your show best bet. That is going to do it for us on Friday as we head into the weekend. Another weekend,
everybody,
hopefully, where we're cashing tickets.
Pray for me tonight. Patty, I need you now.
Mark Zinno. Oh, wow.
I need you, Patty. Please.
Mark Grace calling it a slump buster.
Follow me on Twitter for that. You'll find out how my 5%.
He's at Mark Zinno. Imagine that.